and welcome. It is my pleasure today to introduce a guest all the way from the other coast, Murali Srinivasan. Murali is a resident of Sunnyvale, California, and is running for city council in Sunnyvale. His story is one of almost every one of us typical immigrant engineers. He started out as an engineer in Bangalore, graduating at the top of his class and moving to the United States to get a graduate degree. Later, he joined as a tech executive in some of the very, very famous companies like Sun Microsystems, Who Automated License Systems, and General Electric. Later, he moved on to manage a string of very successful startups. Now, he has decided to focus his attention on giving back to the community. He has been very active in a lot of different organizations, both in Sunnyvale and around the world, I would say. He's part of Leadership Sunnyvale, Sunnyvale Community Services, but he's also part of Shankara Eye Foundation, an Indian American organization that brings change to those who are visually impaired in India. He is currently serving on the Sustainability Commission at Sunnyvale. And as part of the South Asian Cultural Association of Sunnyvale, he recently organized a grand Diwali celebration at Sunnyvale. Murali is now really geared up to go ahead and run for office. And when he does, and when he wins, he'll be the first Indian American to win elected office in Sunnyvale. Murali, what a pleasure it is to have you on Lokwani. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure and honor to be part of Lokwani. So thanks a lot.
Fantastic. So tell us, what message do you have for people as they think about who to vote for in Sunnyvale and why should they elect you?
Thank you very much. Obviously, I am biased. I will say vote for me.
Yes.
The reason is I have been involved with the community. I have lots of tech business experiences, not only in the technology side, but also on the management side and financial side, which are really, really crucial for running a city. For example, just yesterday, we had a budget session where the council members for almost 8 hours sat nonstop to discuss the budget and then balancing the budget and then what to fund the capital project or operating budget and all those things. I have experience with that. For me, I also sat through the presentation for 8 hours, but I didn't get to vote. So that's I think my experience and then community service differentiates me. And then I think people who are supporting me have been strongly supporting me to run for office and then be a good council member.
Fantastic. So as a council member, what kind of opportunities are you looking for that is motivating you to put all this work into making this happen?
Exactly. That's a good question. Let me tell you about my platform and then the values I bring. So my platform, I call it 3 E's: equity, environment, and effectiveness, right? So equity, I am from a poor family in India. My father was a factory worker, large family. I was a National Merit Scholar. So my education was paid by Government of India. Thank Government of India for that. And then, so equity is very, very important for me. Even in Silicon Valley, which is supposed to be one of the richest areas in the world, we still homelessness. A lot of students do not participate in the ecosystem of Silicon Valley. That's what I want to contribute. As a council member, any policy we make should be equitable to everybody. Not just high-tech workers, but it should be seniors, low income, youth, like that. Recently, we are working on a program where low income high schoolers can get into some vocational training program for a successful career in manufacturing. Environment is dearer to me because I'm on a sustainability commission. Effectiveness is solving the right problem, doing more with less. That's what I did for GE. I was part of the digital strategy group, which made GE very efficient because our quality of service went up. The values I bring are what I envision are Sunnyvale for all. That is, it should work for everybody, irrespective of age, gender, income level, like that. And then the second thing is we are, because Sunnyvale is a city of no majority. That is, everybody, there is a substantial Asian population, including Indian population, substantial Asian, Hispanic, and white population, like that. It should work for everybody. That's what we need to embrace community and neighborhoods. The third thing is the opportunity for all. That is, city should listen to everybody and then work on their behalf, not the loudest mouth on the council as such. So.
That's really beautiful, and more power to you. I look forward to you winning and making that difference in Sunnyvale. Now I know that Sunnyvale is I think 25% Indian population, if I'm not
Correct.
mistaken.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet, this journey has been really a first time journey for an Indian American. So can you tell us a little bit about how that journey is going and what challenges and opportunities have you seen along the way?
Yeah. So, like, though we are 25%, most of us are first generation immigrant. With that comes all the, I wouldn't say baggages, but all the issues associated with first generation immigrant. For example, we need to take care of our family and then family back home and back here. And then more importantly, we most of us are trying to strive to make sure that our kids have better lives than ourselves. So, with that in mind, we are focused on our careers, our income, and all the building the future as such. So, with that, very few of us have time to do community work, let alone get into elected official level, right? That has been the challenge. It's nothing to do with Indian community or anything. It's just the nature of first generation immigration problem.
Yeah.
So the journey has been very, very interesting by itself. So I got into community service and then I wanted to give back to Sunnyvale after my daughter left home. That is when we became empty nesters. Suddenly I had 8 hours of my time, which I didn't know what to do. So I wanted to give back to the community city. The city is where we have deep roots as a family. Our kids grew up here. So this was an opportunity. So one by one, it started happening. Leadership Sunnyvale. We revived that. I took over as the president of leadership organization, leadership Sunnyvale board, and then we revived that. Sunnyvale Community Services, which prevents homelessness and poverty in Sunnyvale. So I am a board member and financial committee member. And then Artika Park Neighborhood Association, which was dormant for nearly 25 years. We revived that. And then like that. And then Shankara has been dearer to me for 15 years. And then wherever my expertise can be utilized, I try to donate that my time. Shankara needed somebody to take care of their website. That was 15 years back. I've been continuing to do that. And then similarly, Rotary wanted somebody with web experience. So I am the webmaster of Rotary.
Oh,
So that's how it's happening.
wow, wow. But you've been getting obviously good support from not just the Indian American community, but the community around. You said it's a very diverse set of people there. And how easy or difficult has it been to reach out and get support from other communities?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. As an engineer, it was very tough to ask for help. Even now, I am hesitant, right? I because somehow that modesty or oh, we don't have to tout our whatever we did is blocking me. So the way it is happening is more than myself, others are pushing the the.
Ah,
It's like a wave effect or tsunami. I wouldn't say tsunami, but then it's more of I am riding the wave. And then the SACAS is that is South Asian Cultural Association of Sunnyvale. We named it SACAS because of palindrome.
Yeah.
Uh, we started Diwali planning 70 days. In 70 days, we organized one of the largest cultural event in Sunnyvale. And
Wow.
then that was the none of us had met face to face. And then just a week before the Diwali event, we met. Oh, that's how you look. All was seeing you was this square on Zoom. But that shows the power of the community. And then it requires commitment, but at the same time, once you ignite the fuse, it just takes off.
This-
So that was really powerful. But
Beautiful, beautiful. Glad to hear you're, really getting support from everybody. And actually, it's the people pushing you rather than you really.
correct, exactly,
And
exactly.
that's really great. In fact, I was going to ask you, you are an engineer, technical person, and here you are, transitioning into politics. How did you make that switch, and what was that journey like?
Yeah, so that's another interesting point. First of all, a lot of people were saying, at least three ex-mayors were saying, you should run for office. You will make a good council member. At that point of time, I did not have any interest. Nor my wife was hesitant for me to get into public office. She had her own reasons, but suffice it to say, she didn't want me to be hurt or something like that.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is, she knew that public office, you are suddenly scrutinized a lot more,
right.
right? So that was the biggest problem she had. But when she saw Diwali organized, and then how enthusiastic the whole community, whole city came to that, we were expecting 400 people because it was Delta variant COVID
Sure.
time, and then 2,500 people came.
Wow.
And then we had 22 dance programs. Everything worked like a clockwork. It was all voluntary driven. We
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know where we would get money from. Everything was unknown. And then this is the first time I am organizing, or any of the volunteers are organizing. And then that was the time when my wife realized, hey, maybe you should get into public service a lot more. And then she still supported. Regarding the journey itself, it's difficult, I would say. It started very in a tough situation. That is, the biggest. I started journaling all my thoughts,
Right.
right? Just to understand what's going on in my
Right.
life. So basically, it was the fear of failure, or fear of censure, or fear of somebody telling you, oh, you are a failure itself, was the
Mm.
biggest fear I had. And then at that time, I read Bhagavad Gita regularly. This is my, so many times I read it continuously.
Sure, sure.
And then I also believe in Advaita. I believe in Ramana Maharishi's teaching, who am I? So with that, that was the strength I was getting. And then to a small extent, if you think about my journey, it, I don't want to make it bigger than what it is, but then it was Arjuna in the Vishada Yoga felt the same thing. I am quite sure you would have seen the army of his Kauravas and then felt that, oh, can I defeat them? Or what happens if I cannot defeat them? If I fail, I guess that was the Vishada he was facing. And then that's when nowadays I follow karma yoga to whatever the level, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, and jnana yoga. And then that has calmed me down. And then, so now I am trying to think this as God's work. I am just an instrument. I'm
Beautiful.
not, this is not my ego or anything. Yeah, I would like to win and serve the city, but then if it doesn't happen, so be it. It's whatever happens, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That has calmed me down tremendously. There are some 7 or 8 things I have written down, what was affecting me, and then this was the main thing. And then nowadays I sleep very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that
So,
is the main lesson I would give to anybody running for office, because it's different from what we have done in our lives. Like
mm,
engineer, we know analytically, if you do this, it happens that way. But here it doesn't that way, because there are a lot of variables, a lot of people's emotions are involved, and
yeah.
then you need to be a bit careful. So,
Right, right. Well, beautiful. I mean, I think use of the Bhagavad Gita for such a positive thing is also, I think, appropriate, because what Krishna was saying there is that your purpose in life is to be the change you want to see. You keep talking about it, and that you
right.
are actually going ahead and doing that in your community. I think that is very brave. That
Thank you.
kshatriyata in you, I really applaud. I think that's important, and I think that's where Krishna also says you need to be brave. Don't be afraid of failure. At least you should try. And you saw some things in your community that you want to make a change, and you're putting your time and effort to do that. So more power to you. So
Thank you.
what advice would you give to people in other communities who may not be thinking about politics? Is it important for Indian Americans to get into public office?
I would say yes and no. There are a lot of ways you can serve the community, right? I remember hearing about one of the famous persons who said, "You can make a change if you make a change for 10 people's affecting 10 people. That itself is your, if it is your dharma, that itself is fine, right?" At the city level, for example, Sunnyvale has got a population of about 160,000. So whatever the policy, obviously I am one amongst the 7 council members, right? So you can think that I may not have power after I get elected, but at the same time, I used to think that way. But then a lot of my friends were saying, it's not that you have power, or let's say you are on the losing side of a proposition or a resolution, that doesn't mean anything. But asking the right question, making sure that the city staff are thinking about certain things is very crucial. Coming back to how anybody can serve the community, for example, Ekal, what you are doing is tremendous, right? It's so good. You are touching so many people, right? So that itself is, if that is the dharma, we have to follow that as the dharma. And then it's not that everybody should become kings or warriors or something like that. We have to follow swadharma, as Krishna says,
Right,
right? So
right, right. So find your passion, but if it is there in you and you feel that you can contribute to the community, not to be afraid and actually run for office is important, it sounds like.
correct. It will tell you. It
It
will
will
tell
tell.
you when you are ready, and then you don't. Like I said, for example, Diwali. All I did was I posted on Nextdoor saying, "Hey, can we do Diwali?" And then it pushed itself. And then similarly, here also, yeah, I have to make the effort, but at the same time, when I was ready, or if I am ready, it was known already. So
Sure, sure. And I think the path opens up. You figure out how to do these things, and I'm sure
that's
there's a technique and
exactly correct.
process like any other
Exactly.
engineering.
Yeah, just today I was getting an endorsement from one of the previous mayors, and then pretty active community leader. Yeah, I was telling him, as an engineer and first generation immigrant, you never know, because my father was not a politician,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
How
yeah.
do I know all these things, right? And then somehow it happens, and then it works. And then he said that's exactly what it is. Nobody is born to be politicians, and then,
Politician.
right? So
Sure,
you
you
just
figure
find
it
the
out.
passion and then take with that. So
Wonderful. Well, more power to you, Murali. And I
thank you.
think if people want to support you, the website is muralisunnyvale.com. And we see
Only number 4. for
Murali number 4 sunnyvale.com.
.com.
I like that. I like
Exactly.
that. Well, we hope once you win, you'll be Murali number 1, of course, in Sunnyvale.
Thank you. Thank you, Ranjani.
Oh, so that is great. So we look forward to talking to you again once you have become a city council member and to see really what impact you've been having in that position and what changes you have been able to bring together. Thank you so much, Murali, for agreeing to talk to us. And maybe you will inspire others on the East Coast as well to take on this kind of, mission. If indeed, as you said, it is within them and they feel inspired to do this. So thank you, Murali, for what you're doing. Mangalam Shubham. Namaste.
Thank you very much. And then it's my pleasure. And then anybody, if they want any input or feedback, please feel free to contact me. Thank you very much, Ranjani. So this is a absolute pleasure and honor.
My pleasure too. And that's a good point. So if people are thinking about running for office, they can contact you to see your journey and maybe you can give them a few tips as they are considering this.
Exactly. I have a big booklet of all my notes as to, for example, politically correctness. What are the words to use, which I am not familiar. Engineer, you don't think about all those things. So these are
Right.
the things I can help
Surely,
them.
surely,
So
surely. Thank you so much, Murali, and wish
thank
you
you very
all the
much.
best.
Thanks,
Namaste.
everyone.